What's shaking, my friends? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Shay, and today we're going to talk about what I plan to read in the month of October. So let me tell you what happened in September. Actually, scratch that. Let's not talk about September, but it was definitely a very wonky month for me. So what I've decided to do in October is to read some sequels to books that I need to complete and then mood read the rest of the month. Now, I'm not a mood reader, so I don't know how this is going to work out for me, but I have some options that I have to pick from because it is spooky season and I am all ready to get into it. So real quick, we'll start out with some of the sequels that I'm planning to read. And the first one that I did not get to in September is going to be Ghost Story by Jim Butcher. I'm looking forward to completing or continuing on with my Dresden journey. Of course, this follows the book Changes, which I loved, gave 5 stars, and I have been itching to continue on in the series to figure out what happens in this next installment. So I will hopefully be reading this in the month of October. The next sequel is going to be Legacy of Ghosts, which is the sequel to Blood of Heirs by Alicia Winsdahl Burke. And this was a book that really surprised me. I read it for my self-pubbed vlog that I did not that long ago, and I really enjoyed this series and I look forward to seeing where it kind of leads us. It's following 2 heirs of, in some sense, of some kingdoms, and they were learning their story in the first one and what happens, and there's some monsters and some spooky things happen, which is great for spooky season, and they're going to come together in the next book and we're going to figure out just what they're going to do to help fight these monsters. I don't know. Well, I'm looking forward to finding out. The next sequel that I'm going to get to is Stones of Light by Zach Argyle. This is the second book, and the first one is Voice of War, and I really loved it. It follows our main character, and he was high in the government, and he was investigating some basically blood thieves that were taking thread weavers who have special abilities to push and pull on things and draining their blood and killing them. And there were some interesting things that happened in this book. I can't wait to continue on to see what happens. I really loved all the characters in the story. They all gripped me, and the story went in directions that I didn't think that it would go, and so looking forward to continuing on with Stones of Light. I'm also going to continue with The Bitter Twins, which is the second book in the Ninth Reign series by Jen Williams, and this is a sci-fantasy mix that there are aliens and there are humans and vampires and all these other kind of mythical creatures in this story, and the gist of this is we're trying to figure out how we're going to defeat these aliens now that one of our sources of defeating the aliens is dead, is deceased, and no longer exists. And it left off on a cliffhanger. Can't wait to continue on with that one. Another series that I'm looking forward to continuing on with that I meant to in September but did not get to, this is going to be the 4th installment in this series. This is going to be The Emerald Storm by Michael J. Sullivan. This is the 4th in the series. I'm looking forward to continuing on, following Royce and Hadrian as they move about the country and save people from dangers and save this world and this community. And this is a very long series full of prequels and sequels and companion novels. I'm not sure, but I'm looking forward to continuing on my journey through the Rhaeria Revelations. Now, on to the books that I am planning to basically read, maybe for spookiness, okay? So there's a couple that I own that I've been meaning to get to. One is Ruth Ware's The It Girl. So they are comparing this to In My Dreams I Hold a Knife by Ashley Winstead, which I, of course, really loved earlier this year when I read it, and that's because the premises are very similar. So this follows a group of college students who one of the students has died in college, and now we're in the future, and following these same group of people, and there are some evidence that who was put away for this murder is basically not who actually killed her. So very similar to the other premise of In My Dreams I Hold a Knife, and I'm looking forward to reading Ruth Ware's take on the story. The next one is a horror novel called The Hacienda by Isabel Cañez, and I don't know much about this. I know that she marries a man and he whisks her away to her dream mansion. However, when she gets there, she realizes that it's not quite what it seems, and there's some rumors going around about his old wife. And I think it's going to be a spooky, and I think it's going to be a great time, and I'm looking forward to reading. The next book that I'm looking forward to is to kind of continue in my self-pub journey, and that's going to be starting with The Nightfall by Danielle Barnett. This is a series. It's got 6 books right now, which is the complete first arc, and there's going to be a second arc of this series, and this is basically a post-apocalyptic horror novel. I'm looking forward to reading this. I've heard a lot of great things about this from multiple people, and the first book is rather short, so I think that I can finish it in a good time. And that's all I want to know about this book going in post-apocalyptic. That's all I need to know. Another book that may shock you that I'm going to read or try to read is Spontaneous Human Combustion by Rob Thomas, I believe it is. This is a short story collection. Yes, you heard me right. It is a short story collection. However, I think in horror, short stories may work a little bit better for me. I'm not known for loving short story collections, but I'm willing to try it this time to maybe see how horror short story collections are, and I've heard a lot of great things about this collection. The next book that I have been meaning to read for a very long time, and that's going to be Into the Drowning Deep by Mira Grant. She also goes by Shauna McGuire, and that may be what you know her the best by. And I don't know much about this, but it's about an expedition, and that they're going to it's being filmed, and they're gonna go check out some mermaids, and they're killer mermaids. And that's all we need to know about that one. But I've heard a lot of good things about it, and I've been wanting to read it for a very long time. The next one is going to be The Stolen Tongues by Felix Blackwell, I think. I'm not quite sure the author of this, but I will pop up the picture. I don't know what this is about. Period, point blank. Don't know. Do not want to know. I like going into my mystery horror books very blind, but I'm hoping this month that I can find some really great gems that I will love and be able to recommend during the spooky season, and I cannot wait. That's all I'm gonna put on my tentative TBR at this time. Again, because of what happened in September, I am looking to pretty much mood read the month of October. Now, again, this kind of also in itself gives me anxiety because I don't mood read, period. I don't know what mood reading is. I always like something to tell me what I'm going to read. But as I get, older and into my reading journey more, I realize that sometimes you just have to take a break and read what you want to read, or maybe that you're in the mood for in that month. So that's all I got for the month of October, and I am planning on doing some vlogs in October as well, so stay tuned for that. I know that September did not go as planned, but as I said, you'll hear in my wrap up exactly what happened in September. And it was not a good time, but it's a new month. I'm excited. Let's go. Tell me what you guys are planning on reading for this spooky season or the month of October down below. I'm looking forward to hearing from you guys. Bye.